You don't wake up to an alarm clock. You wake up to a sound you can't ignore. A low, guttural, vibrating howl. It's coming from the living room. Your dad
Where
has
are all the
transformed
socks?
again. Not all the way, just about 2/3. So now he's trying to open the fridge with his snout while complaining that his stupid black socks have gone missing. You lie in bed, staring at the ceiling. There are fresh claw marks up there. Yesterday, Dad tried to catch a fly. The fly survived. The ceiling didn't, you sigh. Just another morning in a werewolf household. Your father isn't just any wolf, he's the alpha, the leader of the pack, the strongest, fastest, hairiest man within 100 miles. And you are his son, the only one in this family who prefers marshmallows to raw meat. You get up, go to the bathroom, look at your reflection. No fur, no fangs, not even a hint of lycanthropic power. Just pale skin, dark circles under your eyes, and years of exhaustion from living with a dad who howls at the moon every single night. You brush your teeth, mint toothpaste. Last time, Dad licked the tube and spent half an hour walking around with foam on his face, complaining that this poison is not for real wolves. You open the door, step into the hallway. It smells like dog and determination. You follow the scent of coffee. The kitchen looks like a hurricane just passed through. Table pushed aside, chairs overturned, a puddle of drool and shredded jeans on the floor. Your dad is squatting by the stove. He's almost human now, fur receding, claws retracting, but his eyes are still yellow and glowing in the dim light. Morning, son. He growls, voice low. Raspy. I made eggs. You look at the frying pan. There's something black, burnt, and once upon a time egg-like sitting there. Thanks, Dad, you say, though you have no intention of eating it. He tried to smile. His human face hasn't fully formed yet, so it looks more like a snarl. Full moon tonight. He reminds you. You ready? You are not ready. You've never been ready. Every month, the same routine. Dad turns into a giant wolf, races through the forest, terrorizes tourists, and you stay home watching Netflix. I thought we could watch a movie. You suggest. He stares at you, bewildered. A movie on a full moon. Son, this is hunting time, not comedy time. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is on. Dad freezes. His yellow eyes narrow. He thinks about it for a solid minute. Fine. He finally says, but after the movie, we still run. You nod. Run is his favorite word. It means chase you through the woods until you collapse, then show you how to properly tear apart a deer with your teeth. You eat toast. Dad eats a raw chicken from the fridge. He does it without looking like it's completely normal. You walk to school. Your backpack is heavy. Dad packed a chunk of raw meat just in case. You'll toss it during first period. Classmates glance at you sideways. Not because you are weird, because they heard the howling last night, and they saw a giant shadow run out of your house, and they know you are the son of that psycho who keeps chasing mailmen. But no one says a word. Hey, you say to your desk neighbor, Steve. He slides away. There's a bruise under his eye. Last night, Dad accidentally threw a shoe at him while trying to pull on pants after transforming. You apologized. Steve didn't accept. The history teacher starts a lesson about medieval legends. Werewolves, lycanthrope, wolfmen. The classroom goes silent. Everyone looks at you. Some believe werewolves still exist, she says, and glances your way. You don't blink. You're used to it. After class, the principal calls you over. He's old, bald, with a name tag that says, Mr. Wilson. Your father made noise again last night. He says quietly, we received 3 complaints from neighbors. He was just watching football. You lie. Passionate fan. He blew out a second-floor window. Ricochet from the ball, the principal sighs. He knows the truth. He's a werewolf too, just hiding it. Half the kids in this school are children of monsters anyway. Vampires, ghosts, and one guy from the other class, who's the son of the Loch Ness Monster. He's very shy and only attends online. You return to class. On the blackboard, someone has written, How to survive a full moon when your dad is the alpha. You still don't know the answer. You are 16. By pack standards, you should have grown fur by now, but you are still as smooth as a dolphin. Dad is desperate. He's tried everything. Made you stare at the moon, drink bark tea, even tried to bite you, friendly, to activate the gene. Nothing works. You sit by the window. Outside, it's a full moon. Dad has already turned into a wolf and is running circles around the house, occasionally peeking through the window. Oh, and disappointment in his eyes. Come on, son. He growls through the glass. Just imagine yourself as a wolf, feel the power. You close your eyes. Try to imagine, but all you see is yourself on a soccer field, scoring a goal, the crowd cheering. No fur. Nothing, you say after a minute. Dad sighs. His giant wolf face looks almost human sad. You're just a late bloomer, he says, but there's no confidence in his voice. You go back to your room, boot up your laptop. On a forum for children of monsters. You ask son of a werewolf 16. Still don't transform. Is this normal? Only one reply came. Are you sure your dad is really your dad? You closed the tab. You don't want to think about that. In the kitchen, dad is eating something raw and crunchy. You don't want to know what you decide to dig deeper. Old photo albums, yellowed pictures. Dad in various forms, sometimes human, sometimes wolf. But mom is nowhere to be seen. Who is my mother? You ask one morning at breakfast. Dad chokes on a raw liver. His eyes go wide. That's complicated. I am old enough. Tell me the truth. He sighs, runs a paw across his forehead, leaving claw marks. Your mother! She wasn't a werewolf. She was human. Ordinary. Blonde, very kind. And I loved her very much. What happened to her? Dad stares out the window. The moon is still visible despite the morning. She couldn't take it. Not the transformation, just the life. The constant howling, the fur on the couch, the nightly hunts. One day, she just left. You are silent. Not the story you expected. Did she leave a note? You ask. Yeah. One word. Sorry. Dad pulls a crumpled piece of paper from his pocket. You read it. The letters are faded, but the word is still legible. You don't know what to feel. Anger? Sadness? Relief? You look like her. Dad adds. No transformation, no howling. Don't even look at the moon. You take after her. For the first time, you're glad about that. A new girl transfers to school. Her name is Lena. She's quiet, shy, wears long sleeves even in summer. You notice she never eats in the cafeteria. Who are you? You ask. During break, you don't want to know. She whispers and walks away. But you don't give up. You sense a kindred spirit. Someone else who's hiding. Someone whose family is just as weird as yours. A week later, you are sitting together in the back row. She tells you her mom is a vampire and her dad is a werewolf. She herself is something in between that doesn't have a name. I can drink blood, she says, but it makes my skin itch. And on full moons my fangs grow, but I only bite my pillow. You laugh. For the first time, you don't feel alone. That evening, you come home and find Dad in front of the mirror. He's trying to comb his hair, but the brush breaks against his thick fur. Dad, I met a girl. He turns around, surprise in his eyes. A werewolf, half vampire. He sighs, then opens the fridge and pulls out 2 raw chickens. We're celebrating. You eat, your toast. He his 3rd chicken of the evening. It's weird, but it's your way of talking about important things. You invite Lena for the full moon. Not for a hunt, of course, just a walk in the woods. Away from the pack, Dad warns you, stay away from the ravine. That's my old den. I hid something important there. Don't ask what. You've stopped asking questions you don't want answers to. You walk the trail. The moon is huge orange hanging low. Lena looks at it, and her eyes start glowing red. You okay? You ask. Yeah, just something inside is waking up. You look at your hands. Nothing, no fur, no claws. Still just human. But tonight, that doesn't bother you. You sit on a fallen log. Lena rests her head on your shoulder. In the distance, howling echoes. Your dad having fun. Don't you want to join them? She asks. Nah, they can run without me. You put your arm around her. Her skin is cold, like all vampires. But you like it. Suddenly, a giant wolf jumps out of the bushes. Dad, he sniffs Lena, nods approvingly, and runs off. Did he just approve of me? Lena asks, surprised. Looks like it. You smile. The full moon doesn't seem so scary anymore. Dad decides to host a family dinner. Invites Lena and her mom. You are horrified. Lena's mom is a woman in her 50s, pale skin, sharp fangs. She doesn't eat regular food, so she spends the whole evening with a glass of tomato juice, which she says reminds her of the good old days. Dad tries to cook, or rather attempts to cook. Burnt meat smoking on the stove, feathers floating in the sink, drool puddle already forming on the table. Your home is very cozy, Lena's mom says politely. Thanks, Dad replies, and at that moment, his hand accidentally rips off the oven door. You cover your face, Lena giggles. Dinner goes surprisingly smoothly. Dad tells stories about his youth, how he swam across a lake in wolf form and then had coffee with local fishermen. Lena's mom tells how her husband once fell asleep in the sun and turned to dust. Such a tragedy, she says without much sadness. I spent 2 years collecting him from ashtrays. You look at Lena. She rolls her eyes but smiles. After dinner, you step outside. The moon is almost full. Dad whispers in your ear, that girl's good. Don't let her go. And if you do start transforming, don't panic. I am right here. You don't believe in your transformation, but tonight you believe in her tonight. Something unexpected happens. You don't transform, but for the first time, you feel a strange power inside. It doesn't burst out, doesn't break furniture, doesn't grow fur. It's just there. Warm, like sunlight, but wild, like the forest. You step onto the porch. The moon is bright. In the distance, the pack is howling. And suddenly you realize you want an answer. You don't know how. You don't have a wolf's throat or powerful lungs, but you cup your hands around your mouth and yell. Not too loud, not too scary, just a sound that escapes you on its own. Ow. Silence for a second. Dad stands in the doorway. He's smiling. That wasn't a howl, son, he says, but it's a good start. You feel embarrassment and pride at the same time. You are not a werewolf, you're just a human who accidentally learned to howl. But for Dad, it's progress. He walks over, puts a heavy paw on your shoulder. You know, I'm proud of you, not for the howl. Wooing? For not trying to be something you're not. You look at him. His yellow eyes, his fur, that still shows even in human form. His claws scratching your jacket. I love you, Dad. Love you too, son. And you stand there on the porch, human and wolf, father and son, two halves of one strange, impossible family. You close the door. Inside, it smells like dog and burnt eggs. Upstairs, Lena is playing with your cat. The cat strangely loves her, even though it usually hates everyone. Dad has gone back to the living room to finish Scott Pilgrim. You sit on the couch. There are millions of normal families in the world. Mom, dad, kids, Sunday roasts. And you have howling nights, fur on the carpet, and a missing oven door. But you wouldn't trade it for anything, because every time Dad looks at the moon and starts to whimper, you know He's not doing it because of instinct. He's doing it because that's how he shows his love. In his own way, a wolf's way. You close your eyes. Outside, another howl echoes. Now, here's the question for you, viewer. Would you choose the normal, predictable life without howls and fur, or a life where every full moon turns into family drama, but your dad is always there? Even if he accidentally ate the neighbor's chicken, drop a comment and subscribe if you want to know what it's like to be the son of the Loch Ness Monster. I promise, there are weird family secrets there too.